Hi, John and Mary. How are you guys? Thank you for meeting us today. And today's goal is to go over the financial plan document that we have created for you. But let me start by saying, first of all, that thank you so much for working with us for past 2 weeks and giving us every little detail about your financial stuff, your insurance policies, your annuity, and your family background, and also filling out that goal setting worksheet to identify what goals would you like to take care as a short term versus long term too, and that actually made creating this financial plan document much easier. And also, let me congratulate you, John and Mary, both for during your accumulation phase and the wealth building phase. You've done marvelous job. Like it's it's very well done. You guys have a pretty decent amount of asset, and I can assure you both that during this spending phase of your life and also passing down the sizable estate to your kids shouldn't be a problem. And we we also created like this financial document. It's much more in detail, and there is some technicalities where we discuss your current situation and also let you know where we see improvement or adjustment, and we go over point by point in the document. So wherever you feel like any questions, any concerns, you can give us a call. I'm going to go over each and every section and we can talk about it. And at any point, if you feel like something that needs more clarification or something that you don't like and you want to change it, that can be done. And it's just a first draft, it can change as time goes by, and if our goals change. So basically, this financial plan document contains your current financial health. Then we discuss risk management, and then we go over investment planning. We also discuss retirement planning and estate planning and the tax planning. So we go over each and every section of your areas of concern, or what you should be doing and what you are doing currently, and let you know. So you identified your main goals, right? That you want to reduce your estate and gift tax liabilities. So we work around and we came up with few scenarios or few adjustments that you can do to achieve all that stuff. Also, you want us to review your insurance contracts. We did all that stuff. I'm gonna go over it pretty soon with you. uh, and you want to reduce your personal income tax, which can be done and with us and tax accountants, and we can all work together to achieve that goal as well. So let's, and also you wanted us to look at your investment portfolio and give you a suggestion. So we have all those things worked out. And let's start with your current financial situation. So your current net worth is about 13.8 million dollars, which is so good, which is very well. You did amazing job accumulating that wealth. And when we look at your income versus debt ratio, you guys are way off. I mean, you are very well off. You are almost 29. So ideally, 2 to 1 is good to have, but you are 29 to 1. So you have very minimal debt. Your primary house is paid up. You have very little mortgage left on your vacation home, and uh, so you guys have a sizable amount in your bank accounts. You have almost $600,000 in CD, and you have a decent cash value over $1 million between both your life insurance policies. So you have also exceeded your 3 to 6 months worth of cash that you should be keeping. You are keeping way more than that. So I'm going to go over all that stuff. So you don't have any mortgages in your primary home, so that's fantastic. And you have only $1,680 worth of mortgage on your vacation home, which is going to go in 3 years. So your debt to income ratio is not debt to income, your housing cost to income ratio is less than 10%, which is fantastic. And I wouldn't change anything about that. It's great. So ideally, when we talk about all this, we recommend everyone to keep an emergency fund where you have 3 to 6 months worth of expenses in liquid or cash or anywhere you can get hold of it, in case of emergency. So when I see you have like around $144,000 between your checking and savings account, you have $600,000 in CD, and you have about $1.1 million cash value in your life insurance policy. So your based on your expenses, your total emergency fund should be around $288,000. So you guys are very well covered on that area, and we would recommend you to take off some of the cash or liquid cash and put it in the market, or put it on some mutual funds or ETFs or muni bonds. Muni bonds is a great asset to have because it's federally tax free, and for New Jersey also it doesn't have any state tax on top of it. So that can as you know, right, CD interest is taxable at your current income tax bracket. So you are in highest tax bracket right now, so you should be aware that whatever you are getting in CD interest, you are paying almost 40% tax on top of it. So you should definitely consider moving that CD and look at when it's going to get matured, and at least think about getting muni bonds for that amount. So, you know what? So financially, you are very well off and everything. I see that Mary had the $7,600 credit card debt, and I know that you guys are aware that the credit card usually charge 18 to 24% of interest, which is way more than uh, normal financial institutes. So it's always good practice to pay your credit card debt in full, and which you are intending to do. So it's fantastic, and nothing needs to be done in that side. And I also see that you wish to purchase a car worth of $30,000. I don't see any problem. You have a liquidity available, and you can trade in your current car or current vehicle and get that new car. That shouldn't be a problem for you guys. So it's perfectly fine. So let me go over some of the risk management areas, or some of the things that we found, and we think it should be addressed. So when I look at your home insurance policy, your primary insurance, so usually whatever the house value is, you should be at least covered with the 80% of the value. So I see that your fair market value of your house is $775,000. So your insurance should cover at least $620,000, and your current policy is only covering up to $400,000. So I would recommend that you should increase that policy to at least cover $620,000. So your vacation home policy covers more than what it's supposed to, like it's like 20,000 more, so no big deal. And the 80% of your vacation home value should be $550,000. So I think it's covering pretty so your FMV is $550,000, and you have coverage on over $460,000. So vacation home is fine. So that's pretty good. Another thing that we saw that you have shown interest to purchase a long-term care insurance, right? So you can definitely, you both are in excellent health and everything, but you are thinking about the future and say if you don't pile up all the medical bills and everything, which is a good thing to think about. And you can always get like a 3-year long-term care policy, which should cover 3 year. And we figured out like your premium should cost around 5,700 for each of you, so it should be around $11,400 for both of you, and it should cover for 3 year and at around $250,000. So which is a decent coverage. And you can always go different kind of policies in that, so you need to talk to your insurance agent, talk about all the options available, and we can be part of it and we can help you out choosing the best policy that you can, so which is good. And right now I see that you have Medicare A, B, and D plans, right, which covers like hospital, medical, and prescription drug. So uh, we we see that you guys are in excellent health, and ABD is pretty good and everything, but you can always consider getting the Medigap plan, uh, which is and also cover like dental and vision or hearing coverage when you feel like this is the right point, I should be getting all this thing like a Medigap plan and all that stuff. So that can actually help you for additional money that would go out of your pocket. So it's something to consider, nothing urgent in that, but it's always good to have that those things. All right, so uh, we also looked at your auto insurance policies, right? And auto insurance policies like 200,000, 600,000 looks pretty good, and everything is good. Your deductible is only $500. Only thing that is something which is noticeable is the property damage. You have only $15,000 covered in a property damage, and God forbid if anything happens and if there is a serious accident, and if there is uh, bigger property damage occurred, then it could come down for you to pay out of pocket and all that stuff. So we would recommend you to bump it up to at least 50,000 to $100,000. That doesn't increase the premiums that high, so you should at least cover $50,000, and 100,000 is fantastic. And I also see that you don't have umbrella policy. Uh, I have seen like some of our clients actually had pretty decent use of umbrella policies. So umbrella policies like it goes over your home insurance, auto insurance, and all the other insurance policies, and it gives you like extra set of protection. You can get like $1 million or $2 million policies for from 350 to $700 a year based on your claim history and the past things, and I don't see any problem in that. So you should always have umbrella policy, and it gives you extra set of protection in case someone sues you, like if you have an automobile accident or some god forbid something happens, then this umbrella policy covers you what your regular insurance policy doesn't. So your insurance policy covers the first 200 $600,000, and if someone sues you for $1 million, then umbrella policy kicks in and they take care of the rest, so you are not liable for anything else, and it's always good to have. All right, so that's something that we should look into it. So now let's look at your investment planning. So I see that you are going to receive like a 20% of the installment note this year, and also the future installment that you're going to get, you wish to invest in the market, which is very good thing. Like even if we conservatively invest, or if we go a little bit moderate and divide that portfolio and diversify it, then you will definitely get a pretty good return out of it. So based on your current investments, I see that you have around 3.847 million in non-qualified asset and about 1.054 in qualified asset. But I see that you have only four stocks and rest in mutual fund. So your portfolio doesn't look very well diverse. And out of all the four stocks, I see that stock A has actually gone pretty low. So I would suggest you to sell that stock and actually use that tax loss harvesting technique to offset the gain in some others, so you are not liable to pay the taxes for this year on this thing. So your cost basis was 225,000 and the FMV is $7,000. So that company is not doing good and it has gone drastically down. So I would bite the bullet, take the loss, and use that loss into offsetting some other gains. Also, when I look at your mutual fund portfolio, I see that you have 37% of your portfolio invested in international funds, right? Which is unusual. It has done decent for you in the past, but when I look at it, I like to have the growth fund or balance fund more, because you're in the spending phase of the life and you don't want to rely on like a foreign economies and foreign government as a major part of your portfolio. You definitely have international portfolio in international mutual funds in your portfolio, but I would redistribute that a little bit, so you have balanced growth as a major players in the stuff. Plus, you can always have a bond equity, like a dividend equity funds, which can pay you up from 6 to 11% of dividend, and which is a steady growth of steady income for you like throughout the year. So that we can add. And also you shown interest that you are not interested at all investing in any of the tobacco companies, and I respect that. And we can always find like a ESG fund or some other kind of funds for you, which is non-tobacco companies and which is doing good and all that stuff. So I would also reshuffle that mutual fund portfolio a little bit to give you better stuff. Plus, when I look at your qualified investments, I see your 401k, right? Your 401k is completely, John, your 401k is completely invested in large cap blend funds. And large cap, believe me, last 5 years, everything was about large cap. They did extraordinarily good and all that stuff. But when I look at the 401k or 403b, I like diversification. It should be again distributed same way as your non-qualified mutual funds. So it can go in dividend equity funds, it can go in balance fund, it can go in a growth fund. So upcoming good companies can be also utilized. Some money can go in international fund and some can go in a bond fund. So you have like all the balanced portfolio that we can create for you. And what we're gonna do is next couple of weeks we're gonna work on particularly your current investment. We will have like some sort of a sample investment investment plan document, where we would suggest you like how many percent we would be investing in which mutual fund and what equities that we like and all that stuff. And we can meet again in 2 weeks and go over it and see what you think about it. So we can definitely look into those things as well. So let me see. All right. So one more thing about the investment. I already mentioned to you that you have $600,000 in CD, and the interest goes with actual your tax bracket. So what you should do is you should definitely look into the maturity of those CDs and think about investing in muni bonds. Muni bonds are amazing. They give you more interest in everything, and also those muni bonds are federally tax free, so interest is completely tax free. So you actually make 40% more than uh, the interest that because you don't pay anything to government from those interests. And one more thing, now that Fed has started cutting the rates and everything, then the bonds which are locked in for like higher percentage rate, their face value is also going to increase in future, so that can give you additional benefit on purchasing those kind of muni bonds. So you should look into it, and you should definitely think about that. All right, so retirement planning. So let's look at your retirement planning. I see that you have 401k and 403b accounts and everything. And John, you are 71-year old. So in 2 years, you will be taking RMD, required minimum distribution, and you will have to take 4% out of it, and also start paying income taxes on top on the amount that you take it out. So there is there is a backdoor Roth IRA that you could use, and uh, how it works is you can always convert your current traditional IRA into Roth IRA by taking that money out, pay the taxes right now, and put it in Roth IRA. And once you put that money in Roth IRA, all the growth is tax free. So when you pass it to your beneficiary, your kids will have that in Roth as well. So all their growth is also tax free. So you should definitely consider this backdoor Roth strategy. Talk to your tax accountant. This year probably it's too late to get you down in the bracket, but next year if you do any sort of a tax strategy, and if you are in lower bracket or something, you should definitely consider before you turn 73 and before you start taking 4% out. See if you can convert some of your money into Roth IRA. Then one more thing as a tax strategy I see is your 401k beneficiary is a Salvation Army, John. So there is a way that you can take you can start doing or start taking advantage of QCD, like a qualified charitable distribution. So what you can do is, John, while living right now, you can start contributing into Salvation Army from your 401k and use that in your tax return as a deduction. Talk about that with your tax accountant as well, and that's a very good way that anyhow you're going to go give this money to Salvation Army. So while you're living, if you start giving that money to them, then you can take those deduction into your tax return, and you can probably go down in a bracket or two bracket. So think about it. One more thing, we see that Mary's 403b beneficiary is estate. So that is something you should definitely consider putting like actual beneficiary on that account, so it doesn't go to probate, because probate is usually lengthy and expensive process. So you should definitely try to avoid any property or anything that would incur the probate. So we saw like some of your property or some of your car and other things has only one person name on it. I see John's name on vacation home and other things. So I would consider put both of your name like tenancy with joint by tenancy. So both of your names are on that. So when like one of you, God forbid, to pass away one day, it by default goes to the other person. You know, so which is uh, pretty which is pretty good idea, and it is a smart thing to do. You should always put both of your name in any property that you have. So this is something that you should definitely consider. All right, so one other thing that I want to talk to you about is you wanted to see if it doesn't incur any estate tax or anything else, right? So you know that right now you can do like you can pass or gift $17,000 to each of your family member without incurring any gift tax or even affecting the lifetime gift credit, that the tax credit that you have. So what you can do is you can pass 17,000 each to both your kids. So John, you can pass 17,000 to Robert and Eileen, and Mary, you can do the same thing, and you can pass it to each of your grandkids the same amount of money. and pass down the estate, or at least reduce the estate every year by gifting them some money so it doesn't go in your estate. Right now, you guys are fine because both of you. So if one person passes away, then all the estate can go to the spouse, and it doesn't incur any tax or any estate tax or anything else. But uh, when one person remains, you have a sizable estate, so it's gonna grow more over the years, right? So you don't want to you want to start planning that estate planning, and think about it if you can do all that stuff. Also, we would recommend you to work with the estate attorney, and I don't see that you guys have a power of attorney on each of you, or you don't even have let me see. So you, yes, yeah, you don't have healthcare proxies either. So that is something that you need to do. Both of you need to do. So have a power of attorney on each other, and also sign the healthcare proxies for each other. So God forbid, again, if one person becomes incapacitated, uh, there is no difficulty in taking any decisions related to healthcare or anything. Estate attorney can help you out with all that stuff. So when you do estate planning, you should always go with the estate attorney. You should include your tax accountant also in the loop. They can guide you towards the tax implications of doing all that stuff. And we will be part of that conversation as well, so we can talk about the investment and other things which can affect your estate planning. So, and also there is another way. You can always have some trust set up, like irrevocable trust, and move some of your asset into irrevocable trust, which can also help reducing your estate. So that doesn't incur any estate tax or anything else. So that is something also you should keep in mind. Um all right, so one more thing, yes, about the stamp. It's good to have that kind of asset, don't you think? So I see that stamp is valued 1.5 million, and John, you anticipate that it's gonna go over 2.6 million, or you at least think that it's gonna go way over this price, right? So there is one more technique, that whenever any asset that you think is going to grow over time, like drastically, and if you're going to pass down to any particular beneficiary, or if you have a clear idea or anything, then you should pass it down in that kind of trust, irrevocable trust, or with that beneficiary, or you can pass it down to them, so that actually locks down that value as of now, and you don't have to include that extra money that it grows over time in your estate. So that is something you can think about it, and see if you would like to do that. So that is one thing. And all right, so we also looked at into like how much estate attorney costs and all that stuff. So estate attorneys usually cost between $10,000 to $15,000, but that can they can help you out with signing those healthcare proxy stuff, also getting that power of attorney on each other, and also establishing those trust if you want to do them. So we can all we can work towards all of this with you. We gonna make the investment plan uh, for you, where we think that your assets needs reallocation and all that stuff. So lastly, let me go over what is the next action plan that we think we should do. So first of all, very first thing, it doesn't take even long. Mary's 403b account needs beneficiary. So let's add that today, or if you're not ready, or if you haven't decided, then as soon as you decide, we should add that beneficiary. Then by next week or something, we can always give you like two or three estate attorneys number. And if you have anyone in your mind, you can always call them and talk to them and take an appointment, talk to them, just go over this financial plan document, go over our recommendations, and talk to them about it and see what they can help you out with. And we are just phone call away. So you can call us anytime, any day, and with any questions, we can always do that. We are like 24/7 available to you. So that shouldn't be a problem. So third thing, think about looking into your CDs. So see when CD is getting mature and think about the muni bond suggestion that we gave you, and we can help you out investing that money in muni bonds. So look into those things. Also, next action item, take an appointment with your tax accountant. Tell them that you want a tax planning session and meet with them and go over this 17,000 per year gifting strategy. See how much you are comfortable with. You don't have to go all the way to $17,000, or you don't have to do it every year, or you both, it's not that John has to do it and Mary has to do it. You both can do it, or one person can do it, and you can start thinking about that. Also, one thing that I didn't mention, you should always consider investing your grandkids 529 accounts. So I don't see that you have, if they have existing 529 accounts, good. Otherwise, you can always open 529 accounts for your grandkids and put money in that. It's a great way to grow your money tax free, as long as it's used in education or education related stuff. But in 2024, there was a new rule that government came up with, that unused 529 money can go into your Roth IRA up to $35,000. So, which is great. So you should think about investing into 529 for grandkids. Uh, I did it for both my girls, and that was one of the wisest decision that I did. And the money is growing, and at least it's a less hassle when they go into college. They still have a few years to go finish the school and everything, so it's gonna grow even furthermore. So look into that thing. Also, talk to your home insurance and increase your policy on your primary house, and at least cover like 80% of it. And last action item, meet with insurance agent, discuss the long-term care policies, talk to us about it. And there are some options where you both can take the long-term care policies, and you can always use, so if one person needs it more than what they are covered, they can always go in their spouse's policy and use some of that money also. So look into all the different kind of options they provide and see which suits best for you. We can help you out with that, making that choice too. I know it's a lot of information and lot of suggestions and all those things. I'm going to give you both the copy of your financial document, email you guys also that, and you both can go over it, look into it, take your time and sleep over it, and call us if you have any questions or concerns. And it was really nice meeting you, both of you. And I'll see you in 2 weeks with all the suggested investment options that we have for you. Thank you so much. Bye.